some people are not going to be happy with your story. Guess what? It's your story. I don't give a damn about what they think. It's your story. So what you do is you be happy with, guess what? I'm going to make myself vulnerable to let people know, even though life is good, guess what? It's not perfect. Welcome, family, to the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we desire for you to take the bits of information and immediately apply them to your life for success. The ground rules for our podcast is that it will always be encouraging, uplifting, and informative. The areas of life that we'll be talking about on the Bacon Bits Podcast is dealing with having a balanced life. And I need to hear y'all say it. Say valuable information applied equals success. And this is going to be one of those episodes for me, because I wanted to talk about something that most people don't usually want to talk about, and that is being vulnerable, man. Being vulnerable is such a place that I don't like being in, and that's part of me coming on here being transparent and honest with you. I don't like being vulnerable, but guess what? In order for me to live a full and rich life, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be, and that's super important for you to get that. Is that, man, I gotta make myself open, honest, willing, transparent to live my best life. Part of being vulnerable is saying, man, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I'm still gonna, take the leap of faith and trust it. But man, being vulnerable to say, I need help. And let me just go down the order of how my left brain works. Being vulnerable to say, man, I'm hoping I have enough money to retire the way I want to retire. And hoping that we're doing the right things that's going to lead us there, to that. Me and my wife, we honestly don't live a lavish lifestyle. We really don't. But we do truly enjoy our life, man. And I love what we're doing now. I love the sweet spot that we're in right now. We continue to grow. We continue to always openly tell each other how much we love each other. And we're very appreciative of the things that we do for each other and with each other. Super grateful for that. But it's just that, being here, let's just be honest. After you travel and then come back to the United States, man, it's expensive to live here, man. It really is. And so you ask yourself the question, will I have enough money to live, the lifestyle that I'm living, enjoying my life, and can still be, guess what, a giver, blessing people and doing the things that we love to do in organizations we love to contribute to so that they can continue to do what they do. So just being vulnerable in that, man, and just being vulnerable and, knowing like, man, how are we going to be in years down the line? Part of me loving the people that you love, you're making yourself vulnerable to get hurt because there's no guarantee that the people that you love is going to love you back or love you the way you want to be loved and all of that wonderful stuff. Can you be vulnerable enough to tell yourself, you know what, let me love the people that I love the way I want to love them, the way they need to be loved, the way they want to be loved. But there's no guarantee that I'm going to get it back. And I just want to love them because I just want to love them. When you're built to love, you just want to love on people. You hope to get it back. And that's a prayer, and that's something that you strive for. But when it's all said and done, I wouldn't be the full version of who I am if I didn't love people. And part of loving people is being vulnerable to seeing if they're going to love you back. Part of you loving people is that when you invest in them, you hope to see a return on your investment. Meaning, if I poured into these people, whether they are, drug addicts or alcoholics, and you want them to live their best life, and you're giving them the tools that they need, just being open enough to say, man, I hope they really live this thing out and want to live their best life. And man, can they just really get that, man, on the other side of this, it's going to be so beautiful. But part of me getting to the point where I share myself a lot with the people that I work with is knowing that, you're making yourself vulnerable. Say, I'm going to tell my story, and, guess what? It's my story, man. I'm not trying to make you happy with the story. I'm not trying to show off with the story, but I'm just trying to, make you see that even though you live a great life, everything is not going your way. Everything is not falling into place. Everything is not, roses and candy and those beautiful things, but you got to understand that life, you're going to go through some stuff, and you got to can you be vulnerable enough to tell the whole story. We in this wonderful age of social media, and if you look at all the clips, all the videos, everybody putting their stuff together nicely, they cutting it beautifully and all that. And I'm just not one of those people. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I be wanting to hear the bloopers, the mistakes. I be wanting to hear and see that the camera the angle wasn't right, the lighting wasn't right. I be wanting to see that. That's because life ain't perfect. I hate that we try to make everything look so picture perfect. Now I want you to make things look beautiful. I want you to shoot your shot and make it the best that you possibly can. But at the same time, I don't want you to have dot all your I's and cross all your T's. Why is that? Because in life, it ain't gonna happen. It's not. I use, like, I'm gonna go to my next one of, like, my health. I do everything I possibly can. Now, I'm not obsessed with, like, trying to be no bodybuilder and all that. But brothers, sisters, me taking my vitamins, me, pushing the mushroom products, that I love talking about, because that stuff is working. I stretch every morning. I don't let a morning go by that I don't stretch. And, I work out only maybe like 2 days a week now, where it used to be 3 and 4 times a week. But now it's only 2. I'm just being honest and transparent. I only work out 2 days a week, and I'm super happy to sustain and shoot, for having the best workouts that I can. But that's no guarantee that I'm going to be, super healthy. It's not. I got people around me that, man, they dealing with some serious aches and pains. And they were doing what they thought at the time was the best for themselves, but it's what it didn't work out, So you're being vulnerable and saying to yourself, like, man, I'm really praying that this workout happens. These vitamins that I'm taking and minerals, this mushroom product, the stretching that I'm doing, I'm praying that it keeps me healthy. But think about the whole totality of your health. Make sure you go to the dentist, something that I don't do often enough. Make sure you're going to get your eye care done. Make sure your eyes is working good. Your hearing, make sure your hearing is good, man. Going to get a yearly physical. I can't say it enough. Check out that beautiful machine you got to live in for the rest of your life, man. Please take care of it, and being vulnerable to say, okay, this is not working. It might have worked for a lot of people what I was doing, or for those people it was working. But guess what? For me, it doesn't work. So can I be vulnerable and say, with not hearing the badgering of other people saying, man, you didn't try it long enough, or it didn't work because, you didn't, take enough of it. No, it just what? Honestly, it just didn't work for me. Can I be vulnerable enough to not want to be a people pleaser? We want to make sure everybody is happy and everybody is safe and everybody is, everything is going all right for people. We can shoot our best shot, but can I be vulnerable? Bad things happen to good people. That's life. And being open and saying, you know what, okay, this didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. I'm really hurt. Let me verbally say that out loud. Don't let me be caught up on somebody's going to think a certain way about me because I'm saying what I'm saying. This is my perspective. It's my point of view. So being able to say, you know what, let me be open and transparent with people so they can see the wholeness of life. Some people are not going to be happy with your story. Guess what? It's your story. I don't give a damn about what they think. It's your story. So what you do is you be happy with, guess what? I'm going to make myself vulnerable to let people know, even though life is good, guess what? It's not perfect. It's you have to be transparent. It's not going to be utopia. Life is going to deal you some blows. If you are a child of God, I have no problem telling you, there are some things I question God about. You ain't supposed to say that out loud. Yes, I do. I'm being inquisitive and honest as one of his children. There are some things I be questioning, man. I have a great deal of faith. I believe God for a lot of stuff, but guess what? I still have my questions. I still have my doubts. I still have my concerns. I still have those moments. And I love when there is a scripture in the Bible that's the man needed his son healed. And Jesus asked him a question, do you believe I can heal him? And the man said, I believe, help me with my unbelief. Do y'all hear what he just said? I believe, help me with my unbelief. Yes, we can be in the moment and be struggling and be like, Lord, I'm struggling with believing. I've seen you do it for so many other people. I'm struggling believing that you can do it for me. See, I want us to be vulnerable in everything, being open and talking to people and saying, you know what, man, I'm hurting, man. My wife is going through this and I'm hurting, man. My finances this way, man. It's looking shaky. Man, I'm dealing with some health issues. When my teeth is hurt, should I get my teeth pulled? Should I put dentures in? Should I get implants? You be thinking about all this stuff, like being transparent and open, saying these are the things that I'm going through. This is real life. Are we willing to tell people that stuff out loud, not just hold it in? You see people come into a rehab 2 and 3 times. You be like, man, I really pray and hope that this sticks. Being vulnerable to say that, man, you want the best for people, but I got to be open and saying, sometimes I doubt. And I like the fact that, sometimes people override and go get past my doubts. And I'm super happy for them when that happens. I do. I like being wrong when it comes to people, success stories. I be like, man, I don't know if they going to make it. And they go far beyond what I think they can. I'm super happy for them to do that. And that's being vulnerable and say, man, you know what? When they come into a rehab, we'll say something like, it's only a 4% chance that this person will never touch drugs and alcohol again. If I'm going off of statistics, that's heartbreaking. That's saying that's the best we can do. It's 4%. But the part that you got to be vulnerable in is saying, I'm going to go in there and shoot my shot. I want this to work for them. And I don't know if it's going to work. But the best that I can do is give them this information, give them some examples in my own personal life of how this information has worked, and then being vulnerable enough to say, man, I got to leave it in their hands. I got to leave it. Being vulnerable that when you say something, you're not going to be attacked for what you say. Being vulnerable and open and transparent because you got questions, man. If you are listening to my voice right now, you are a person that has questions. You are a person that hears voices. You got to be vulnerable enough to say, yeah, I'm hearing them negative voices tell me I can't accomplish this, can't accomplish that. But I want to humble myself, man. Humble myself and say, I need some answers. I need some help. And when you make yourself vulnerable like that, you don't know if people are going to come and help you. But you got to put it out there, because if I don't put it out there and make myself vulnerable, I might not ever get the help that I need and what I'm trying to accomplish. So, family, do me a favor, please. Get to the point of being vulnerable again. We talked about it in a previous episode. Be childlike again. Being childlike, you got to be vulnerable, man. You got to be like, man, I need some help. And when I say that, I'm surrendering to whatever help I get. When I say I need to be loved, I'm surrendering my heart and leaving my heart out there to be crushed and be stepped on, but to be able to verbally say that out loud. Can you be vulnerable enough to say and do the things that you know you need to do? Be brave enough to open your mouth and say it out loud. And I guarantee you, more than likely, there's somebody out there that's willing to help you. But you got to be vulnerable enough to expose that you have a weakness, that you have a need, that you have a want, so that people can help you. Be vulnerable again, family. Guys, I love you. I only want the best for you, the absolute best for you. I want good. I don't want better. I want best. And you have got to make yourself vulnerable so that can happen. I love you guys. God bless. All right. What's up, family? It's your boy, John Bacon from the Bacon Bits Podcast. Thank you so much for your support, likes, and ratings. Please don't just listen, but rate me, follow me, and subscribe. This is an amazing way to offer free support. My beautiful queen and I have some books that we have written for your growth.
So the first book we have is a workbook, actually. It's called Healthy Relationships, and this is a workbook through the lens of faith. Because what makes a relationship healthy or unhealthy? So this workbook is designed, it's a 12-week, it's a biblically grounded course, and every week has a few different principles. So some of our principles, some of our topics that we're covering are respect, cultivating security. And this is not just between a husband and wife. This is between parents, between siblings, between friends, between your bosses, employers. So it's really important, and everyone deserves a healthy relationship.
And also we have The Balanced Life by John Bacon. It covers how to be prosperous in your finances, relationships, your health, your mind, and your spirit. So you can pick that up on Amazon, also on audiobook. And we also have
The Unraveling, a creative healing journal, pinings, poems, prayers, and ponderings of my precarious life. I've had a testimony of, I've had 2 brain tumors and 2 brain surgeries, and I'm super grateful, but I'm still grieving the process of healing. And this is part of the process. In this book, you have devotionals, you have prayers, and you have some ponderings. And in between these pages, there's a space for you to also be prompted to paint and to create your own, or maybe you want to write something in these books. This is part of your creative healing journal that we get to walk through together.
And you guys can just head over to Kingdom Servants First. Kingdom Servants, the number one, st.com. And you can purchase all 3 of these books. Thank you for your support, your love, and your contributions. God bless.